Hey guys, Tepco Cycle Repair. Today we're going to be repacking a two-stroke silencer. This is something that's overlooked. This is a maintenance item, and a lot of people ignore this. And you really need to pay attention to this because, especially when you're trying to jet your bike or something, if this is clogged up, you're not getting to get the right back pressure and everything. And you want to make sure that everything is flowing good. Also, it helps muffle the sound and everything. And this one is pretty bad in here. You can see inside there all the holes. They're pretty clogged up or pretty dirty. So let's get this thing apart. They're all made to come apart. So this is a this particular one here has a Allen keys on it. We're going to take those 3 Allen keys off, and there's usually sealant underneath here. So when we get this apart, we're going to have to pull it apart, and hopefully it'll come apart pretty easily. If not, we can do some tapping and pulling to get it off. So pay attention to which way that this goes. Here's the mount here and a mount here. So when you put it back together, you put it in the right rotation. And what we're going to be pulling out here is the packing, and the packing is like a fiberglass type of packing. I like using the FMF stuff. Looks like this here, two-stroke packing. That's what I'm using. All right, so here we're going to take it and try to pull it apart, and this one is not going to budge. It's moving a little bit. Okay, so look here. See that? So what you got to do is just kind of twist it and pull it. It'll come out. There we go. You never know what you're going to find in here, but you see all this one right here? This is all wet and black. All right, it's a mess. So you need this to be nice and clean. Let's cut it open and take a look at what we got. You see how wet it is too? A good running bike that's not running rich is not going to be wet like that. It'll stay dry. What happens with these is they'll get all carboned up and they'll actually clog all the holes in there, and then your silencer is not going to even work. Right, you see how dirty it's getting as we're getting down in there? This is fiberglass. Make sure you got gloves on. Okay, you see, now I want to show you what happens in here. Okay, all those holes are clogged, so they're not working. We got to clear all those up. So this is all stuck to this. This just hasn't been maintained in a while. Look how wet that is. Can't do its job if it's hard as a rock. Okay, so now we're looking at this here. We have, if you look at these holes, a lot of them are clogged up. See that? I'm going to go ahead off camera and hit this thing with a wire wheel, get all this stuff cleaned up really good, poke through all of it, spray it down with some carb cleaner, and get this nice and clean the best as possible. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so now that we got this all cleaned up right here, you can see through it. We're going to take our packing. Now our packing, we want to cut it a little bit longer, so I'm going to lay it on there like that, and we're going to cut it right about here, okay? Because when you push it in, it's going to jam it in there. So let's just cut this the whole length. All right, so now with this cut, we want to wrap it in here. You don't want to wrap it crazy tight, but you want it tight enough so you can get enough packing in there to make it work. So we're going to lay it right up there against that. I'm going to just kind of roll it. If it's too tight, it won't do its job. So you want to wrap it, but like I said, don't make it really silly tight. Okay, that looks like it's going to be just about right. You can see it's a little bit fatter than the pipe. Now to hold it in place, what I use is some paper tape. It's just to hold it from unwrapping while you push it into the pipe. Alright, there's the end of our pipe right there. Okay, you just want to make sure that it can poke through. It'll be fine. Okay, now we're going to send it back into here. You're going to have to tuck it as you're pushing it in because it's a little bit bigger. So take it. And help it in. Just keep tucking it, twisting it, and now at this point here, you got to look at the other side and get it all lined up in there. So you can just stick something in there. I'm just going to put my finger in there and line up the pipe on the end so that it'll go into place. Okay, so now we got it lined up in there. All right, so we got to get it all tucked in so that we don't have any coming on this outside part right here. We're about to put some sealer on there. All right, so here we are now. So at this point here, I'm going to use some of this this gasket maker. Okay, this is the Permatex Moto Seal. Its part number is 29132. You can get it at any auto parts store. I'm going to take this, just put a tight bead around here. We'll wipe off the excess after we push it in. It's one of the reasons I hate wearing gloves, but it is important if you're using this stuff. So it's important that you do this too, because if you do have a bike that's running a little rich, it's going to put some black oily mess or spooge coming out of here, and it'll drip out of this point, out of this part here. So, all right, now that you have that nice little layer on there, we're going to go ahead and push it in the rest of the way. We're going to take our Allen bolts that we took out earlier. Get the last one in here. We're going to snug that one up. Snug all three. We got that sealer coming out right there. So we're going to go ahead and take our finger and just wipe it around there. So it gives a good seal around that whole thing. If you put a little bit more on, it should ooze out of here all the way around. I was probably a little bit light there, but that'll work just fine. And now what I'll do is I'll take a rag with a little brake cleaner and just wipe off the excess so it's not a mess on there. Oop, hang in there. That's all there is to it, guys. That's how you pack a two-stroke silencer. This will be good for depending on the hours of how you ride, where you ride, and what kind of bike you ride. This one is good to go, and this was a Pro Circuit pipe on here. Hopefully this helps you out, guys. Get your silencers packed. This is a maintenance item. You should be doing it at the very least every season. It's something you got to check out depending on your hours. But that's all there is to it, guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for further notifications. Until next time, this is TEPCO Cycle Repair.